achalam sarvadi sakshibhutam bhavatitam trigunarahitam sadgurum tam namami. Nithyanandam, I offer my humble obeisance, my humble pranam at the divine lotus feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And I welcome each and every one of the viewers who are joining us right now and who are joining us from various different countries all over the world, different nations, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, and even different languages. I welcome each and every one of you, and as well all of the Kailashians and the Kailashians, the celebrated citizens of Kailasa, the ancient macrocosmic Hindu civilizational nation. And as well, I welcome each and every one of the viewers who are joining with us from Nithyananda TV and Kailasa TV on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, as well as through and from different platforms where you can tune into the live programs from Nithyananda TV provided from Kailasa's Nithyananda Hindu University and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. I welcome each and every one of you to this program where you will simply be able to experience the Divine Mother, the Divine Cosmic Mother, and the deep feeling connection with our Divine Cosmic Mother once again. In our day and age, especially in the latest generation, we have gotten used to continuously asking and asking for more. We live in an increasingly consumeristic society, which is degrading even our natural resources and exploiting the resources of our Mother Earth, and neglecting the home, the chance that we had to live in the whole existence, to be an individual consciousness on planet Earth itself, and throwing that away for consumerism, for corporate greed, and for so much of corruption in all different kinds of institutions in so many different places. And now, especially during this COVID pandemic, we're seeing the failure of our society to help secure our lives in a very increasingly dangerous world, where the post-corona world has seen even a 14% rate of unemployment, has seen rates of suicide, depression, and anxiety, even in children and youth, have a drastic increase, and in so many different ways, in so many different countries, having people undergo the worst kind of starvation and not have enough food, while in some places food is being wasted more than it can be consumed. And even islands are being created in the ocean just from the amount of accumulated garbage and accumulated trash that has been settled in the ocean. And as well, in these very places, there are some places in our world which are complete food deserts and don't even have enough food for feeding their people. And so many millions of people are undergoing so much of starvation and food shortages, even within their own homes. In Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we had long known solutions for ensuring that these kinds of social crises do not affect one, and one can simply break through any kind of pain or suffering that they are undergoing in any point in their life. Whether it is actually the spiritual solutions provided for depression, anxiety, or suicide. And for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna addresses the self-doubt and anxiety of Arjuna before going and proceeding with one of the world's greatest wars, and or whether it is facing the greatest fear known to humankind, which is the fear of death itself in the story of Nachiketa, or even whether it is the greatest truth manifesting Shaktis delivered by Paramashiva himself. All of the solutions for our modern day problems were already told to us thousands of years back, and today revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and delivered to each and every one of us in a way that is biteable, usable, user-friendly, and something that we can process very quickly and start imbibing in our lives. And during this program today, the Parashakti Akashic reading program, we will introduce the divine cosmic being, Devi Parashakti herself, the cosmic feminine consciousness, and the divine feminine consciousness embodied in the form of the cosmic mother. And among all of the different ways to connect to the universe, to life, or to the divine, the higher power, as you might call it, the connection with the cosmos as the divine mother is the sweetest, easiest, smoothest way to connect with the whole existence. Especially in a day, in a time when we are continuously interacting and we're continuously in the mode of asking, throwing tantrums, of being and feeling discontented with inside of ourselves. Once there's a small story that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gives an example for our discontentment when we are going about our daily lives. He gives a small story which Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism narrated, saying one day a man had gone to the doctor and he had asked, "Doctor, I'm really feeling I'm having insomnia. I'm unable to sleep. Can you please give me some kind of medication? Do something to address this." The doctor said, I didn't know that you don't have a history of any kind of insomnia, or are you really unable to sleep at night? And he started listing out symptoms, and he said, no, I'm not here about sleeping at night. I can sleep at night perfectly well, but I'm not able to sleep during the day or during the afternoon. Understand that everything just like this, we're going on asking and asking for more, that we create delusions inside of ourselves, and we create discontentment naturally within inside of ourselves. And then with that huge coal of an abyss of discontentment, of feeling so lonely, desperate, hopeless inside of ourselves, and creating that problem for our own selves, like this man. Then we go on searching in all the different societies, solutions for the solution for the problems that we ourselves created. The truth is that the universe, the existence itself, is the only all-pervading and omniscient, omnipresent energy that exists and is controlling the whole show. The unfortunate thing is that we start to feel as if we have some control, and we're not just merely playing a part within this whole grand scheme, the narrative, and the Leela of the whole universe. And it's only the connection with the existence itself that you consciously build again that will only make you experience the divine and help heal your discontentment, your pain, your suffering, which you feel inside of you, and which can create a breakthrough in your life, exactly what you want. I invite each and every one of you viewers for this sacred spiritual experience, your digital experience with the divine, where you will be introduced to Devi Parashakti, the divine cosmic mother, and the form of existence as the mother. Connecting with the mother is the most easiest and smoothest form of connecting with the cosmos, with life itself, with others around you. And it is a way that you will be able to start healing your relationships with others, your relationships with other things, your relationships with life itself. When you know and you understand that life itself is a divine force which is simply taking care of you, encapsulating you within her cosmic womb and nourishing you, ensuring that you grow and are entirely ready to be born for the next step and to evolve continuously. You will see how amazing in this program you can connect to Devi Parashakti. You can even ask your question to Devi Parashakti, manifesting through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And you can even ask your questions during the live Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Devi Parashakti when it is announced that it is alive. So stay tuned for this extremely powerful journey that we are about to set forth on in this program. Before we go on to the next segment and we go on to the most exciting segment, the demonstration of extraordinary Shaktis, I'd like to briefly introduce to each and every one of you who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was born on the 2nd of January 1978, and on this auspicious day, recognized by his gurus, esteemed adepts, and spiritual beings from Tiruvannamalai, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's birth town, and recognized to be an incarnation of Paramashiva. On this very day, he is literally birthed by all of his gurus, including the extremely esteemed Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, as well as Annamalai Swamigal, and many other spiritual giants in the whole Hindu ecosystem and Hindu civilization that still exists in India. And today, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based lifestyle for each and every one of us to enjoy and to achieve super conscious breakthrough. And as well, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived the 14 ancient indigenous kingdoms, including being coronated as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Tondai Mandalam Adinam, or the Kanchi Kailasa Sarvagnapitam, being coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Madurai Adinam, the Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam, and as well the incumbent emperor of the Suryavamsa Surangi Samrajyam, and the Mahamandaleshwar, or the spiritual head of the Mahanirvani Akada, one of the oldest apex bodies of Hinduism, and the 1008th Mahamandaleshwar, Acharya Mahamandaleshwar of the Atal Akada, another very, very powerful governing body of Hinduism. And as well, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the most acclaimed and honored Hindu leader, recognized as a leader of all Hindus, and has authored over 300 books in English, Tamil, and Sanskrit, and further translated these in 50 different languages, and more than 20,000 on YouTube, as well as on Nithyanandapedia. And as well, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has established Kailasa's Nityananda Hindu University and revived over 1 million Pali scriptures and 20 million Hindu digital books. So with this, we'll now be entering into the next segment of today's program, the demonstration of extraordinary Shaktis led by the Nityananda Gurukul Balasan. Joining with us shortly are the initiated disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who were initiated into Bala Sannyas and from a young age have been initiated in manifesting the Shaktis of Paramashiva. What are exactly the Shaktis, which you might have heard of, but you never quite understood and you never quite believed also, and how you yourself can start manifesting Shaktis and start being a channel for the divine cosmic energy, Paramashiva himself. And how this is exactly possible, we're going to be seeing in the next segment. We'll be continuing on with our program today, and I'm very excited once again to welcome each and every one of you and to invite you further on into today's program. And we'll be continuing on after a very quick break. Once again, welcome to this program. We'll be moving on into the next segment of today's program after a very quick break, and we'll be witnessing the possibility which lies ahead of you through the demonstration of extraordinary Shaktis. We have joining with us Ma Yoga Prana as well for understanding the various different Shaktis and seeing exactly how the science of power manifestation is made available and revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Yes. Gentlemen, everyone. Welcome everyone to this segment of the Parashakti's Akashic reading, where you use the various powers of Paramashiva being manifested. Yes. So, in today's Bhava Samadhi version, in the Parashakti's Akashic reading, you will be initiated into the following two powers. One is the power of third eye, where you close both two eyes and breathe from the third eye, where the browsing center, which is located between the two brows. And also, second, you'll be witnessing the thought current scanning, where you'll be having the ability to read one person's thought currents. So, what exactly is manifesting extraordinary Shaktis?
Stuck in the system.
So what exactly are Shaktis? So, in the Vedas and Agamas, where Paramashiva beautifully elaborates in the scriptures very detailedly that every human being is hardwired to be able to manifest the first 63 plus extraordinary divine powers or the Shaktis. So manifesting powers are Shaktis, which are described in the Vedas and the Agamas. Are described as a method or a system and a science for human beings to explore the various possibilities and powers to have access to various states of consciousness. Shakti is manifest from fundamental cognition that you are a divine and you need to manifest the divine, rather not from the cognition that you are a man and you need to reach the divine. So, what exactly is the difference between Siddhis and Shaktis? So, Shaktis are expressed from the space of enlightenment. As a side effect, you'll have a deep feeling connection with the good. And Shaktis are source of enlightenment, whereas Siddhis are the powers that manifest from the penance or the tapas for enlightenment, and Siddhis are on the path of enlightenment. Shaktis manifest in an ordinary human being in an extraordinary way, and Shaktis are permanent, whereas Siddhis are not permanent and may divert you from very enlightenment. So, who's the source of all these Shaktis? It is none other than Paramashiva, who is the primordial divinity in Hinduism. the ultimate reality and cause, who is self-effulgent, Swayam Prakasha, all-pervading, unchanging your time, space, form, and causality. As a fundamental base of Abhyakta, the unmanifest Vyakta manifests existence. He performs the Panchakritya or five cosmic acts of Srishti, creation, Sthiti, sovereign rulership and maintenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Prabhava, play with delusion and Anugrah, the liberating grace for all living entities in the matrix. So the avatar of Paramashiva, who is none other than the supreme point of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidanam, his divine holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the 1008 living incarnation and representative of Paramashiva, and who is also the reviver of Kailas, which is the ancient enlightened Hindu civilization nation, the great cosmic godless civilization. So ever since the beginning of the civilization, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma has been the cradle of enlightened beings and highly advanced sciences. So while the science of enlightenment and powers, Shaktis was lived as a lifestyle for each and every one of us. For the first time in the modern day, the supreme point of Hinduism is reviving these yogic sciences and transmitting it to the world at a record-breaking, never and the science of transmitted to each and every one of us through the lineage of Guru Parampara is being passed down to generation to the next through the power of initiation from the enlightenment. So the supreme point of Hinduism may recognize his incarnation at a very young age, was trained and taught into the science to revive the initiations and knowledge the possibilities for billions to manifest the science of manifestation from the discipline of Vedanta, Tantra, Sri Vidya, Yoga, Yogic powers, Mantra Shastra, Siddhavidya, science of Aushadha, Advaita, Bhakti Yoga, Paramashivajnana, and ultimately Paramashivavijnana. Yes. So, how do we awaken these divine powers in all everyone of us? You're wondering. Like Swamiji is born, he's an incarnation, he's been born with all these powers. But what with us? We are normal human beings. So how do we manifest these powers? So it's simple. Every ultimate truth, which is Jnana, map into your consciousness, which is free, manifest as a possibility and power of every being, which is Pragyan. Let us now watch a short clip on how the science of power manifestation is being transmitted to each and every one of us through the science of Diksha. Yes. Hmm? Hmm?
Is the direct transfer of spiritual energy by an enlightened being through look, word, or touch. The traditional Vedic book Navaratneshwara states, Sarvasamapi dikshanam muktihi phalamakhanditam avirodhat bhavantyeva prasangyastu bhuktayah. The main benefit of all initiations is moksha, enlightenment. As a side effect, health, wealth, leadership, and well-being happen. And in Rudrayamala Tantra, Shiva says, Devi Diksha Vihinasya na siddhihi na cha sadgatihi tasmat sarva prayatnena guruna dikshito bhavet. The one who is not initiated does not attain liberation nor a better future. So by all efforts, one should get initiated by Guru. What is the science of initiation? Neuroscience has proved that the process of initiation floods the brain with energy. This is the superconscious energy of Kundalini, own highest inner potential energy. As the Kundalini flows from the thalamus to the cortex, it sets up a powerful energy loop within the brain, which awakens the latent non-mechanical parts which we have never used before. With increasing levels of coherence, the whole brain comes alive, turning into a superconductor of conscious energies that heal, empower, transform our lives, bliss and fulfillment. Initiation creates high awareness, visualization, creativity. It also slows the aging process and improves the immune system. Kundalini awakening, healing experience, levitation, teleportation, materialization. Experience the power of initiation through a range of exclusive programs conducted at the ashram. Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar, Birdi, Bengaluru. Contact 97422 03311 82774 90091. Visit www.nithyananda.org.
So now we'll be entering the 4 levels of evidences for verifying the science of power manifestation, which is called pramanas in Sanskrit. So first is the Shastra Pramana.
Stop sharing.
So the Shastra Pramana is the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and the Agams. And second is the Apta Pramana, the experience and distance of the Aptas, their experiments on the science of power manifestation. Last is the Atma Pramana, which is the avatars, the supreme part of Hinduism's personal experience on science of power manifestation. And the last is the Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study, the scientific experimentation done on science of power manifestation. So, what exactly are these Vedas and the others? Vedas are the
ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணா லேட்டா தான் ஆகுது. ஒரு எங்கேயோ தட்டினா எங்கேயோ போகுது. சிஸ்டமே சரியில்லை.
Agamas are the applied technology, applied science, which is very elaborate expanded. So, Vedas and Agamas are given the status of Shruti. So, since they are directly revealed by Paramashiva, they are the ultimate unchangeable truths. So, a reference cited from these is the Shastra Pramana, which is the source scriptures. The Vedas are the ultimate superior authorities for the Hindus. Vedas are pure science, while the ultimate truth is expanded very elaborately. And whereas Agamas are the applied technology, where the applied science is well expanded very elaborately. Get ready to witness astounding powers of Paramashiva being manifested. So today the first power which we're demonstrating is the power of third eye reading. So the scripture reference, the Shastra Pramana for the power of third eye reading comes from the Vijnana Tantra Sutra 34. Kapalantarmanonyasa Ishtanmilitalochalaha Kramena Manasodharyat Lakshaye Lakshamuttamam. The translation goes, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by fixing the mind on the inner space within the crown center and sitting stably without any movement, having the eyes closed in succession, by that stability of the mind and inner space, through the power of the third eye, one directly sees the ultimate goal action by having the vision beyond the sight that reveals any object or place, attaining the space of oneness with the source Paramashiva. The next is the Apta Pramana. So this Apta Pramana is taken from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse 8, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna says the original very beautifully that Natu mam shakyase drashtum anenaiva sa chakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogamaishwaram. The translation goes, but you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore I grant you the divine third eye. Behold my cosmic opulence. So in the Hindu Purana, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna shows his Vishwarupa Darshan, his cosmic form to Arjuna, and Arjuna very detailedly describes Sri Krishna's cosmic form through the power of the third eye. And next is the Atma Purana, where Swamiji shares very beautifully that he was able to see everything around him, above him, below him, the whole 360-degree vision, the 10 directions, the skin of the stone on which he was sitting, and the skin of the body. He could see everything as him. He could experience him in every single thing. The last is the protection of Purana. The empirical evidence or observation or scientific experimentation. So, the study method shows the methodical activity of the brain using the states of the mated space of consciousness using the state of positron, using the positron emission tomography, the PE. Certain daily activities, high awareness is measured in the brain, high activity is measured in the brain in the third region. And when deep states of samadhi, only 90% of the brain is only the third region is 90%, only the third region is active and aligned, and 90% of the brain is at rest and peace. So with this, I learned Sakshi Purana for this book after a short break. Yes. So here I have a very power manifested, and I have with me Maliki Brahma Yogananda, and she is 13 years old, and she will be assisting in this power, in this whole demonstration of the power of the Devi. Yes, so along with me over here, I have a medically tested item. So you could see in the front, there's a black color opaque sheet, and if you see at the back, there's two sockets. There's two holes. So once the wires goes and gets locked up, it gets settled over there. And there is nice thick sponge which covers all sorts of the eye and to stop that any sort of light to pass through it. So this type of eye band is medically designed for the people who are suffering from disease called insomnia, as they won't be able to have a piece of sleep with light. So now Ma Brahma Yoga will be wearing this eye band on me.
Yes, it's not the time. I went comfortable for you.
I request you to the strap to go over my ears.
And when I
No? Yes. So you can see over here that Brahma Yoga has put diamond on me. So to make it even more authenticated, I'll turn to my right, left, up, down, and on. And I would like to also like my Brahma Yoga to come from where is there any sort of microphone or speaker where something talks to me during his whole demonstration?
No, as you can see, we are unmuted the whole time, so we never mute for us to tell anything. And also, you can see her ears. There is no microphone anywhere.
And in front of me is just a monitor, so nothing else is there. Yeah, so now I request the YouTube comments to be projected first. So those of you who's watching us live right now, if you want your comment to be read by the third eye, please do post in Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel or on Kailasa's HDH JDM Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook channel, and we'll be reading out live from there. Yes. The latest comment is posted by Mahajan Sitarana's posted. Brahma Yoga Ma brims and beams with blissful beauty. And my Maheshwara Mayananda's posted super. Yes.
So you can see that Mahabharata has said both the comments perfectly right, which is amazing.
And before that, there's a comment posted by Arka Disuz Vatsauki. Has posted a heart, a rose, a Trishul emoji, and a Namaskar emoji. And yes, now we'll move on to the Facebook. I request the YouTube comments to be projected now. Yes, so meanwhile, as the comments be projected, if yes, so yes, the comments have been projected. Yes, so Arvind curve has posted a heart. And before that, Valipuram Suganathan has posted a hand holding a rose. And Shanmuga Ramana posted a 5 Namaskar emoji. Yes.
Yes, so you can see that even the Facebook comments which Mavarita read is completely correct. She was able to count the number of Namaskar emojis and she was able to see through the complete detail what was posted. So, like, I'm sure that like any normal person in the outer world for sure won't be able to just close their eyes and read through the third eye without the initiation of farming. So after the Devi Akashic readings, it's not only us who will be able to manifest, but even you will be able to manifest because even you will get the initiation of from Swamiji himself.
So now we'll be moving on to the next power of the power for the segment. And before I would like to discuss a Brahmanga, can move the advance from
So you can see that there has been no change in diagram, completely the same.
Yes. So now we'll be moving on to the next power, which is power of body scanning. So the power of body scanning is where the awakened disciples or the spirit or the Hinduism will have the ability to reveal anything medically diagnosed issues and gives you the best, easiest, and quickest way where you can get to the problem. So the Shastra Pramana for the power of body scanning comes to Vijnana Tantra Sutra 54. Swadehe jagato vapi sukshmatharani cha tattvani yani nilayam yatvante vyajyate para. The translation goes: Cog this deeply from the subtle to the subtlest principles of the constitutive principles of the whole body Swadeha, or of the whole universe, simultaneously consists of the essential reality. They have been observed the source cause Paramashivoham. But the experience of such a resolute awareness, one becomes complete from all thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, Paradevi, Parashakti is revealed and supreme power manifestation happens. And next is the Apta Pramana. So this Apta Pramana is 5,000 years back from the very old life of Thereya. Thereya was one of the most prominent disciples of sage named Agastya. One day, a man suffering from a severe headache comes to Agastya for body scanning. Agastya uses the power of body scanning and reveals to him that there is a small type of Thereya, a type of frog, which is sitting in the person's cage. And he instructs Thereya to do an open surgery and remove the frog from the person's head. So Thereya does the open surgery and he successfully completes the surgery and the person gets free and cured from the headache and thus he can get cured. And next is the Artha Purana. Where Swamiji beautifully shows that when Swamiji beautifully shares in his own words that when he was being poisoned because of his own knowledge, where they detected heavy metal quantity in his brain, in the various parts in his body, he uses the power of body scanning and identifies where the balances needs to happen and what will needs to be done. And Swami used this most of diagnostic centers, not medical centers, and he uses allopathy as a second option to verify his findings. And next is the Sakshapramana, whereas various disciples across the globe have experienced this power of body scanning in their very own basis. So let us now witness a live demonstration done by the Balasan and Nithyananda yogis after a short break.
நீ இருப்பாப்பா. நீ எப்படி மாறுவ? லேட்டா அது கஷ்டம். ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருக்கணும். என்ன பண்ணுங்கிற? பிளாங்கா இருக்கும்.
காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம்.
So I'm back with Nithyananda yogis and the Balasan. So I'm Brahma Yogananda, Maniki Mahavidyananda, and Mahasun. So today all three of them will be manifested for a body scanning for everyone. So those of you who want the body scanning, I request you to post a comment in the YouTube channel or Facebook channel, and we'll be doing a body scanning for you. So I request the YouTube channel to be detected. Meanwhile, as we get the comments, third eye is actually like when the third eye does a body scan, it reveals you the source of any problem. Like, for example, you are suffering from a headache, and you go to the doctor and gives you a headache tablets. And next day you might have stomach flu. So basically, like, what constantly one another problem to be facing every time. Whereas the third eye, it finds the root of every problem. For example, the same headache which you're having, it finds the root of it. What is the talking which triggered that headache inside you? What did you do to trigger that headache in you? It scans and reveals the root cause of the whole problem and also gives you the best solution for you to get to the problem as easy as possible. Yes, so Bhakti Tori Aya as requested. Ma, could you do a ball scan for me? Yes, Ma Brahma Yoga will be doing for you, Aya. And Ma Mahajandra Siddharanda has posted. My friend Trish has a problem with body alignment and from waist to hips down. What's the reason for this? What is permission relay and what's the solution? Please. And permission is granted. Yes, she has. Yes, Ma Brahma, Ma Mahavidya will be doing the scan for your friend Ma Mahajana. Yes, and Shirindu Jaz has posted. Please do your body scan for me, especially from stomach and abdomen part. Yes, Ma Sony will be doing the body scan for you, Ma.
Okay, so this is the body scanning for March. Now, the questions are requested regarding the body alignment. What Parashakti reveals is basically happening because of the way you're walking. The posture is not right. So the solution for you is to some place walk with a support, any kind of support. It can be in a house where you are, it could be where you have a range that you can use to walk, or you can have a stick for yourself. Just walk with a support so you have your spine structure straight. You keep your spine straight, you'll be aligned.
Wonderful. And Vidyalaya's requested, Nityananda, please scan me and please tell me what should I do to be more enthusiastic and more educated. And yes, Mahavidya will be scanning for you, Vidyalaya.
As I have done the body scanning for Bhakti Toriya, and I have Parashakti revealed to me that you have a lot of toxins and a lot of chemicals in your body, and it's really affecting your whole nervous system. So the solution which Parashakti revealed is, you should start doing intense cleansing of your body first. Then you have to be on Nirahara Samyama, and also you have to put turmeric on your full forehead with a big kumkum in the middle, because the water which you're drinking has fluoride in it. So you have to find fluoride-free water and start putting turmeric with a big kumkum on your third eye, on your forehead before going to sleep. And also you have to start doing Nirahara Samyama and start taking 2 spoons of Harikati every night. Just follow the solution and you will completely be detoxed, and your nervous system will also start becoming stronger, and you'll see that all the body pain that you're having, all the tiredness that you're having also will disappear. Nityananda, I did the body scanning for Shindu Area. I know you shared that you are having stomach and abdomen, you are having problem in your stomach and abdomen part. So you very much will reveal a solution, why it is happening, and when you will words are not being seen. So Parmeshwar revealed the conditioners to take one food capsule in his stomach, and it between the stomach and abdomen.
Yes. That was a wonderful demonstration done by Nithyananda yogis. And with this, I would like to conclude this segment.
And we have one more.
Yes,
So
sorry.
we have one more request from Vignanaya. Vignanaya very clearly Parmeshwar said, all you need to do is a lot of reflection. The entire day, please be focused on something other than Parmeshwar and continuously chant the Mahavakya. Unclutch, 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 and that's the solution.
Yes. That was a wonderful solution revealed by Paramashiva. Yes, so with this, I would like to conclude this segment of the Parashakti's Akashic reading where you were witnessing the powers demonstrated by the 10 yogis and Basins, and we'll be moving ahead to the next segment where you'll be learning about who is Devi Parashakti, and what is the divine feminine consciousness. Yes, so those of viewers we are getting the comments that please repeat again, it's not clear and less sound. Yes, due to interest of time, we'll be typing our revelations and you can take it ahead from there. So I thank all the viewers joining us live for this segment, and we'll be moving ahead to the next segment after a short. Thank you, Nithyananda. Yes, so we have Madra.
அவ மியூட் பண்ணா பேசிட்டு இருக்கா.
Yes. Thank you everyone for the power demonstration. Thank you, Maharaja. And with that wonderful power demonstration that all of us just had with the Balasins, we will now be moving to the next segment where we will be learning about the Parashakti who is none else. So we'll be first looking at the Dhyana mantra of the Dhyana shloka of Devi Parashakti, which comes from the Lalita Sahasranama Dhyana shloka. Sindhuraruna vigraham trinayana manikya spurate taranayaka shekharam smitamukhim mabina vakshoruham panibhyam alipurna ratna chashakam raktotpalam bibratim Saumyam Ratnagadasta Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Paramambika. And the translation for this is: the Divine Mother is to be meditated upon as shining in her red body, with triple eyes, sporting a crown of rubies, studded with the crescent moon, a face all smiles, a splendid bust, one hand holding a jewel cup brimming with mead, and the other twirling a red lotus. And another Dhyana shloka, which also comes from the Lalita Sahasranama Dhyana shloka, which describes the beauty of the Parashakti, says: Arunatakshim dritapashankusha pushpabana chapam animadibhiravritam ayukaihi rahamityeva vibhavaye bhavani. And the translation for this verse is: I meditate on the great Empress. She is red in color and her eyes are full of compassion. She holds the noose, the gourd, the bow, and the flowery eye. She is surrounded on all sides by power such as anima of her rays, and she is the self within. And Devi Parashakti is the ultimate pure feminine consciousness. Parashakti is the cosmic mother.
It is her cosmic womb from which billions and billions of universes manifest, and the source where the Big Bang and black holes go on. And Parashakti is the source Shakti, the source energy, the source power, from which all of us came, in which all of us are in even now, and in which all of us are going to merge. And out of an extreme love and compassion, Devi Parashakti herself is manifesting through the embodied form as the Nijavatara of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, gracing us, answering all of our questions, attending to all of our prayers, giving boons our past, present, and future, delivering profound spiritual truths, and ultimately giving us the experience of Paramashivoham itself. And in the words of Devi Parashakti herself, she introduced herself, raising as Omkara, expressing as Vedas and Agamas, blossomed as Hrimkara, filled as Parashakti, living in 40 triangles, the Kailasha Swami who is in Kailasha, Sri Purachintamani, Parashakti, sitting as part of Paramashiva, Parameshwari who rules the world, Paramashakti, Manonmani, Meenakshi, as Nithyananda, I took Nijavatara here to give good boons to everyone, to bestow all goodness. Hiranya Garbha Swarupini, Brahmanda Yoni, Shami, Chandramauli, Rapala, Aparna, Uma, Parvati, Savitri, Navayavana, Samrajya Lakshmi, Parameshwari, Parashakti, Meenakshi, taking the form of Nithyananda, I am with great compassion and blessing, listen people, to do good to all of you, I took the form of Nithyananda and came down as the Javatar. And Devi Parashakti also beautifully reveals, she says, raising in Omkara, blossoming as Shiva, manifesting as source of existence, power of existence, expression of existence, from the oneness of Om, blossoming into two as Prakriti and Purusha, blossoming as three Shaktis, Icha, Kriya and Jnana, growing as 4 Vedas, expanding as 5 Panchabhutas, beyond 6 chakras, filled as Gotras of 7 Rishis, expanding as 8 directions, existing as 9 grahas, blossoming as 10 Indriyas, being as 11 Rudras, creating, bringing life to tell and make truth blossom and to do good. Parashakti, Meenakshi, in the form of Nithyananda, I came to bless every one of you. And now let's see how to receive Devi Parashakti. How can we receive Devi Parashakti when she comes for the darshan? So literally you are seeing Paramashivan Parashakti at that moment. She is there on your screen. So you can receive her in a very traditional manner. You can keep 2 betel leaves, 1 betel nut, 1 banana and a coin in front of the screen as you watch Devi Parashakti. And for those of you who might be wondering what exactly a coin is considered as or what is its importance. So the coin is actually considered the traditional Dakshina in the Hindu tradition. It can be the lowest value in India, it can even be just a paisa, and in the US it can even be just a cent. Swamiji says, I'm not trying to monetize, keep even 1 cent, it is okay. So for 100 days if you have darshan, it will add up to $1. In India, even 1 paisa is okay. And you can offer that to Devi Parashakti. And once the darshan is over, you can do namaskar and eat the banana, the betel leaf, and the betel nut, take Niklas Prasadam immediately. And the coins that you collect, you can send it to the Los Angeles temple for further procedures. And for those of you who might be wondering now, what exactly does this betel leaf and betel nut, in which way does it benefit you, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, how does it benefit you? So this betel leaf and betel nut may look too small, but in a few days you will see how much it adds to your sentiment that really she is there. You will not take the Devi Darshan for granted. Rituals will break your monotonous unconscious mentality and lifestyle and remind you and raise you to powerful cognitions. It will break your unconscious behavior. And now all of you can see how you can set up the tambulam. You can see the pictures of all the items and how to arrange it in a plate. You can keep the betel nuts on top of the betel leaves and keep it in the plate, and then the banana and then the coin. You can arrange all the items in a plate and keep them in front of the screen. As all of you see, there are a few additional items that are shown in the pictures, such as the coconut, some red bangles, kumkum, turmeric, and some flowers. These are the few additional items which you can keep as part of a tambulam. But the 4 basic items that are kept is the betel leaf, the betel nut, the banana, and the coin. So whichever items you would like to keep, you can keep it in a plate, arrange it in a plate, keep it in front of the screen as you watch Devi Parashakti and receive Devi Parashakti in a Vedic tradition. And with that, we come to the conclusion of this segment where we have learned who is Devi Parashakti and how we can receive her when she comes for the darshan. And we'll be moving to the next segment of this program where all of you will be learning what exactly Devi Parashakti has revealed about the Pralaya and many such other problems that the world is going through right now and many other profound truths. So we will be learning what Devi Parashakti has revealed in the Akashic reading for humanity and how important it is for us to understand, internalize, and follow what Devi Parashakti has revealed. So with that, we'll now be moving to the next segment of this program after a really short break. So please stay tuned.
காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளியே, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளியே, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்ட.
Nithyanandam, welcome back, dear viewers. Now that we have watched the extraordinary powers of Paramashiva and Parashakti, let us enter into the next segment where we will understand some of the revelations made by Devi Parashakti for humanity during this time. So Devi has been continuously manifesting for the sole purpose of guiding us through this Pralaya, to ensure that we cross safely through this ocean of samsara and suffering, and to where our consciousness flowers and we're able to manifest all of the things that we want in our life. And Devi has been continuously blessing us to do this. So let's enter into this segment and understand some of the revelations made by Devi Parashakti. Out of his extreme compassion and love, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been manifesting Devi Parashakti herself and gracing us, answering all of our questions, attending to our prayers, giving boons, healing us, revealing our past, present, and future, delivering profound spiritual truths, and ultimately giving us the experience of Paramashivoham itself. during such revelations, Devi has revealed some of the profound truths out of her compassion and love from the cosmic archive, which have immediately manifested into reality. So in today's segment, let us go through an understanding of Devi Parashakti's revelations and how they have manifested in our reality today. So let us understand what Devi has revealed about Haritaki and how it benefits our body. Watch that video.
Catherine Breton, take Haritaki every night. Your anxiety and early morning depression will disappear. Om.
Let us understand what Devi has revealed about Haritaki. Devi revealed that take Haritaki every night. Your anxiety and early morning depression will disappear. Let us understand how exactly this can happen. So first, the definition of Haritaki as per Ayurveda states that it's the yellow myrobalan. It's from the yellow myrobalan tree. And the power of Haritaki is recorded in the Chikshatana, the special therapy section of the early Ayurvedic text, and the Charaka Samhita of the Compendium of Charaka, dating back to 300 BC. So the Haritaki has been around for millennia and has been benefiting Hindus and people all over the world. The Pramana for Haritaki states that it refers to one of the myrobalans as defined in the Shiva Purana, and accordingly, by making gifts of Haritaki, one of the myrobalans, chilies, cloth, milk, etc., and by installing Brahman, the alleviation of consumption is brought about. Let us listen to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself talking about Haritaki and the various other supplements and things in Ayurveda that we should be taking every single day that will benefit us.
You will live with so much health and long life. Especially when you take Haritaki and all, your lungs will become so pure, it will start converting the oxygen into energy. There's a beautiful statement in Siddha tradition, Katrai pusittu vaazhum kalai, means eating the air and living. That capacity, bio-memory will be awakened in you. That is why I insist so much on Haritaki. Understand? I'll repeat. Neem, leaf, bilva leaf, turmeric, tamarind, Haritaki. If you keep all these as your food, regular food, that also in the liquid form, avoid solid food almost 100%. Go for liquid diet. I tell you, so much good will happen to you. Intellectually, emotionally, bioenergy, spiritually, physically, health, everything. Almost 90% I dropped eating. stopped eating. 90% I stopped. Even an incarnation like me, the body is now so useful for the purpose by which I am possessing this body.
Yes.
You will
So
live
this
with
brings
so much health and
in all of its benefits, and particularly how it has the ability to purify your lungs and give you the benefit of actually being able to live without food, just being able to live on air itself. And Haritaki is known for increasing the oxygen level in your blood. And as per the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, the oxygen level in the blood increases to 300%. And this is according to the studies done within the programs itself. And the whole stomach gets cleansed. That is one thing. The whole, sorry, the main thing is that whole blood becomes pure. 300% means equivalent to 2 hours of pranayama. The whole ulcer gets healed. The stomach has subtle small ulcers, and the whole ulcer gets healed. The mouth ulcer, the stomach ulcer, all get healed, and the oxygen level in the blood drastically increases. The laziness, sleep, all come down, and the feeling as if you have done 2 hours of pranayama will be there. So do not miss Haritaki in powder. It is Sarva Roga Nivarani, just like morning neem juice, night Haritaki. Your blood pressure, diabetes, everything will become normal. If you have mouth smell, take Haritaki for 3 days. It will be healed. The mouth smells only because of the stomach ulcers and the heat. You may be from any background. Haritaki is the healer of all diseases. Haritaki increases your longevity. The power of Haritaki, it just makes you young. So let us understand the gut-brain connection and why the gut actually impacts your brain and how the brain actually impacts your gut as well. So as per recent research published in Harvard, it stated that psychology combines with physical factors that cause pain and other bowel symptoms. Psychosocial factors influence the actual physiology of the gut, as well as some other symptoms. In other words, stress or depression or other psychological factors can affect movement and contraction of the GI tract. So while how you're psychologically feeling can affect your gut, the same way your gut can actually affect how you are feeling psychologically. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also revealed so much on the different methods to ensure that you don't get affected by corona. And a few of them include doing ajapa of the cosmic sound, Shiva, 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 and with complete mind, applying banana peel and onion in the heels and going to sleep, and being in the state beyond any remembrance or forgetting in the Arunachala Purana that blossoms as aham, aham in the state of Ananda Spurana. And everyone who thinks on me through these 8 ways, they will not have the effects of corona. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has stated this, and he continues on. They don't have fear and delusion of corona. You will live with prosperity, with wisdom and fortune. Me with you, you as me as you will live good life. Even if you do one of these 8 ways, I will protect you. Corona will not reach you. Don't have fear, O people, be blissful. And the other various ways in which you can protect yourself, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revealed the traditional ways of protecting yourself from corona and other viruses is fire walking, which has been done in Mariamman temples all over the world. And the reference from the Hindu Purana states that from time immemorial in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, one gets purified by the Agni, by the act of fire walking. In the Hindu Purana Ramayana, Sita is the incarnation of Devi Parashakti herself and undertakes the fire walking after Lord Rama rescues her from Lanka. And the fire walking is actually considered a traditional vaccination method, and it creates a mutation process within the body. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revealed that fire walking time, that small blisters you get, just shoots up your whole immunity. That power, the power to protect yourself from any virus or any problem. It's actually a powerful technique. It's a very powerful technique followed in those days. Let us watch what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revealed about the traditional fire walking used as a vaccination method from COVID-19. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed this on the 13th of March 2020, more than 1 year back, when the coronavirus pandemic was just starting up. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was already giving us so much of guidance and blessings, and in order to protect us from this ongoing pandemic. So let's watch that video.
Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivasamarambam Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome you all with my love and respect. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Sri Mahants, Mahants, Tanedar Kotari. All the living and practicing Hindus from all over the world. I welcome all of you with my love and respect. Paramashiva's message directly from Sri Kailas. When love is triggered in you, if you cooperate with that energy flow and start acting, it will become Tyaga. When Tyaga is triggered in you, if you start cooperating with it and start acting, it will become love. Understand here the key. The key point is when they are triggered, acting, start cooperating, working. Beautifully, Paramahamsa Upanishad says, the moment you feel the Tyaga, without the fear of failure, renounce. And if you fail, it's okay. Only if you renounce 100 times and fail from your renunciation and Tyaga, you will be successful 101st time. nothing great happens without efforts. Nothing is wrong in failing. Something is seriously wrong in not trying. I tell you, a failed sannyasi is million times greater than successful middle class mediocre grihastha. Because the depth with which he is attempting for tyaga, the depth itself is too big. It's like in Indian villages we say, 8th pass, 10th fail. Surely 10th fail is much bigger than 8th pass. Because the very class is different. In any level, larger attempt for higher tyaga is best. I tell you. Doing tyaga of the mood swing is the highest tyaga. Doing tyaga of the mood swing. Nitya Puja helps the renunciation of mood swings. Every day, morning 6 o'clock, you have to sit for puja. Then what happens, your mood swings become irrelevant. You see, always your mood is set. The trend for your whole day is set in morning, early morning when you wake up. So the moment you wake up, you know you have to do yoga and you have to do puja. Then your whole day is set to the best trend. Then naturally your whole day has to be best. I tell you, this Nitya Yoga and Nitya Puja is the most powerful way to renounce the mood swings, tyaga of mood swing. Whenever the gas starts in the stomach, usually early morning when you wake up, that is the time stomach will be full of gas. The gas in the stomach makes you forget the higher ideals of your life. You can check in your own life. I tell you, renouncing the mood swings is the most pro-life decision. Pro-life decision. Anyone who is integrated to the spiritual routine will not even know something called mood swing exists. Mood swings will become irrelevant to you. I tell you, coronavirus will be irrelevant for any practicing Hindu Indian village. Because this is the season. This is the season for the dangerous viruses to spread. And this is the season in all South Indian villages. I know for sure. All South Indian villages, there is something called Pachapattini Viradam. That traditionally it is believed Parashakti herself observes this Nirahara Samyama. It's a literally Nirahara Samyama. Just the buttermilk and Panagam. Panagam is a jaggery water. Only these two is drunk and no solid food. Please understand, Devi herself, Parashakti, does this fasting from Masi Maham, Samayapuram Mariamman temple. That is the mother source temple of all Mariamman. Like all Nataraja temple, source temple is Chidambaram. All Shiva temple, the Shivalinga, if there is a Shivalinga deity, source temple is Tiruvannamalai, because that is where the Lingodbhava happened. All Nataraja, source temple is Chidambaram. Like that, all Mariamman temple, the source temple is Samayapuram Mahamariamman, Samayapuram Kannatta. In that temple, Devi herself starts the fasting, Nirahara Samyama, Pachapattini Varadam. From Masi Maham it starts. She is given Nivedyam only the Panagam, jaggery water and buttermilk, nothing else. And I think maybe coconut water. Just these 2-3 liquids are only offered as the Nivedyam, offering for her. No solid food is offered as Nivedyam. It's called Pachapattini Varadam. Parashakti herself does this Vratam. It means the whole village follows. Not just that village, every village follows. What they do, exactly what is recommended for coronavirus in the modern days. Just you do Pachapattini Varadam, that's all. Corona is irrelevant to you. Jaggery water, buttermilk, and adding neem in your life means keeping neem leaves outside the house, keeping neem leaves near your bed, and lot of turmeric in your bath and in your food, means in your juices. Turmeric, neem, jaggery water, buttermilk. The whole Pachapattini Varadam. If you observe, that is enough. Corona is irrelevant. And I also wanted to announce, this is a formal announcement from Kailasa. All of you please obey the instructions from your governments, your country, law of the land. Because in many countries, Corona is really becoming a serious problem. So please, all of you, obey your country's laws. Whichever country has banned large gatherings, please cooperate with your country's advice. I wanted all the disciples to know that they should follow your local government's advice and announcements related to Corona. I heard that in USA and Canada, some other countries, the governments have announced that no large gatherings. Please follow your nations, your governments, your country's advice and recommendations and announcements as a precautionary steps.
Yes, please.
No need to panic, but have all the precautionary steps taken.
In the volunteer to pause the
Wanted to
video.
announce in all the Kailasas.
So the Supreme Concept of Hinduism has been continuously blessing us and continuously guiding us from the beginning of this pandemic, continuously ensuring that we are staying safe and protected throughout this pandemic, and ensuring that we are having all of the guidances. And most recently, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been manifesting Devi Parashakti, the cosmic mother herself, just to heal us and protect us during this pralaya. So we have the opportunity next, in this next segment, to offer our love, our gratitude, and to show our thank you, to say thank you to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, to Devi Parashakti, to the Divine, for manifesting in our lives, for guiding us, and continuously stay tuned for this next segment. We will be concluding this portion of the program and entering into the next part, where we will understand some of the offerings that we can make to Devi Parashakti. So we'll be right back after a very short break. Yes. So as we get ready for this next segment, you can actually take this time to understand how for the next Devi Parashakti Akashic reading, you can have your blessings, your prayers, your boons answered by Devi Parashakti herself. You can actually ask any question or any prayer request in the comments in the YouTube comment section, and Devi Parashakti herself will see every single one of your comments and questions and prayers, and you can get direct answers from Devi herself, manifesting through the supreme concept of Hinduism. And you can also have the opportunity to do this in WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and all the various social media platforms. You have the opportunity to ask your questions and have your answers and your prayers all answered. So you can be sure to stay tuned to do that.
ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எலா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எலா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய், ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளியே, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
Nithyanandam, welcome back to all the viewers as we are gathering for the next segment of today's program. I hope that each and every one of you who are joining us from the beginning are staying tuned and as we had in the last segment understood the various different revelations of Devi Parashakti, what she had given to each and every one of us as divine guidance for individuals as well as for the whole humanity itself. Now, in this next segment, we'll be understanding the various different ways that you can ensure that you create and deeply connect with Devi Parashakti. Now understand that both masculine and feminine consciousness have to be expressed equally by every human being and to be enlightened. Until enlightenment, only the masculine dimension expresses more than the feminine dimension, irrespective of the male or female bodies. And as you can see in these 5 different ways, these are the 5 dimensions the new human beings need to complete with to achieve enlightenment. And as you can see here, incompletions within each of these 5 different places, as in the light, negative, and adharmic cognitions in the 5 different dimensions, leads to misconstrued cause and effect, further leading to suffering and pain and calamities in individual and collective global levels. And being sensitive is being aware and gratitude to life. Everything from the air we breathe, the place that we sit, energy to feel and that you exist, energy to celebrate that you exist. And 43 energies that constitute our human body, when all 43 are integrated to Dharma, one becomes enlightened. Dharma, or the cosmic motherly completion and sensitivity from the level of Panchabhutas, is a core principle of the cosmos. As you can see the Sri Chakra or the Sri Meru, which is literally the 3-dimensional representation of the 43 energies which constitute our entire body. And awakening the sacred feminine is key to the entire enlightenment. When an awakened man expresses the sacred feminine consciousness, he becomes a great revered leader. When awakened woman expresses the sacred feminine consciousness, she becomes Devi Parashakti, expressing powers. And the conscious sovereignty is the key to awaken the sacred feminine consciousness. The conscious sovereignty is what Swamiji has been speaking about, revealing as the way that we can manifest the ultimate powers, everything in our life. And out of millions of paths, the easiest and sweetest, most beautiful path to enlightenment is connecting with cosmos as mother, Devi Parashakti, the cosmic feminine consciousness. And she is the one as guru, all gods and all manifestations in the universe. She can straightaway deliver enlightenment by connecting through the cosmic umbilical cord. Devi Parashakti is the form of the whole universe embodied as the mother. And she is the sweetest way that you can connect with as we are going over each and every one of the offerings that you can make today, you should understand that offering is not a benefit to the benefit of the divine. It is to close the gap with the divine consciousness. When we achieve completion with the Divine Mother, her infinite powers with her sweet grace literally starts nourishing our dimensions, all of our dimensions. And there is nothing small or big when we offer and connect with Mother. It is basically just in the space of love of a child. At any age that we might be in, looking at our mother and handing to her what it has to share with her out of deep love and gratitude, whether it is a cup of milk or a flower or a precious jewel which we offer to our mother, it is simply out of deep and pure love. Vedic rishis have clearly stated the techniques to connect with sacred feminine consciousness. And one can connect with Paramashiva through oneness, but with the divine cosmic mother, it is only by worshipping her feet with devotion. The mother worship is the most violent, most peace-centered, and most healing, soothing, and sweetest path to enlightenment among all traditions on planet Earth. Worshipping includes meditating through sacred offerings of mantras and oblations at her feet. Mother worship is the most non-violent, peace-centered, healing, and soothing, sweetest path to enlightenment among all traditions on planet Earth. And worshipping includes contemplating, meditating through sacred offerings of mantras and oblations at her feet. Now, you might be asking, why do we connect with the universe through the divine feminine energy? Because she's the most supreme way of connecting with the whole universe. And as well, if many of you don't know, the connection of the sacred feminine and literally connecting to the whole universe as mother is called the Shakta Sampradaya in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And Shakta Sampradaya is actually the one tradition which is the form, the personal worship of the supreme pontiff of Hinduism himself. And here we had a beautiful verse from the Rig Veda, one of the oldest scriptures known to mankind. And the English translation states, I walk as the 11 Ruddras, I walk as the Vasus, I walk as Vishnu and other Adityas in all divine forms, Vishwadevas. I hold aloft Mitra and Varuna, even as Indra and Agni I do in the Ashwin things. The Ekadasha Rudras, the Maharudra, the Ashtavasus, Svadashi Adityas, Vishwadevata, all of them are in my retinue. I move around in my various forms with them, and I protect all of them, including Mitra, Varuna, Indra, Agni, and Ashwini Devatas. And in this verse, Devi Parashakti is declaring herself as the inner self of all the gods, the divine energy. She's literally the all-pervading and all-permeating energy. Now, without further ado, let us enter into the offerings to Devi Parashakti that each and every one of you can make. And we'll be having various different offerings that you'll be able to make today, and not just a few, but several different offerings which have different options for you as well. And first, we have the Ihundi offering, which is an offering of any amount of money and even anything. If you'd like to offer jewels or if you'd like to offer anything, you can offer in this Hundi offering. And you don't need to even worry about Devi Parashakti accepting or not, because she is already worshipped and revered as the ultimate, as Bhakti Priya, the one who is the adorer of all kinds of devotion. So she will simply accept and shower upon you all the blessings, everything that you wanted in your life. So you can offer your gratitude and devotion to Devi Parashakti by offering this donation, any amount, once again, in the Ihundi. And we have several steps to how to make these payments, which we'll be going over at the end of this segment. So stay tuned as well. We have next the Sankalpa offering, a very powerful prayer which is chanted on behalf of you. And in the Saundarya Lahari by Adi Shankaracharya, one of the great incarnations of Paramashiva, it says he literally composed Japo Japaha Shilpam Sakalam Api Mudra Virachana, which means that let all of the mantras that I chant be the chanting of your own name. And literally in this mantra, we are aligning all of our energies towards the cosmic energy and towards the resolution that we want to fulfill. The next offering we have here is the Devi Sahasranama Kasu, which is literally the gold coin inscribed with all the Ananta Kalyana Gunas, all the 1008 names of Devi Parashakti and her different qualities. The next offering we have is the Mukta Anguti, and in the Mukta Anguti, the verse, the reference here, it says that let the goddess who brings good fortune, who is praised by the gods, who is served by Devendra, who is praised by Devas, troubled by Asuras, who is praised and remembered, let all of them be protected by Devi. So with this Mukta Anguti, you'll have the blessings of protection from Devi. The next offering we have is this Swarna Padma Pushpa. In the Lakshmi Stutam, Devi Parashakti is described of being the one who is seated on the lotus and who bestows all the accomplishments of intellect and all of the powers as well. So with this offering of the golden lotus, you can offer and be blessed with all of these different Shaktis. The next offering we have is the Swarna Metti. The Swarna Metti is a very unique offering because it is adorning the very feet of Devi Parashakti. And the feet of Devi Parashakti, the very feet dust that comes from her feet in her wake as she walks, is what Lord Brahma had used actually to create the whole universe, what Adi Shesha had used, and what Paramashiva himself wears on his forehead is the holy ash. The blessings in this offering, if you just offer, you'll have the blessings for life of leadership qualities by offering worship to the divine lotus feet of Devi Parashakti, achieved even by worshipping the tiniest grains of her feet dust. The next offering is the Ma. In the Lalita Sahasranamam, once again, Devi Parashakti is worshipped as Siddha Saravi Darshini, meaning she who makes the nectar flow from the Sahasrara Chakra to the Agnya Chakra, the crown center, to the third eye, and permeates through all of our 72,000 nadis. You can offer this Mankika as well, which represents the nectar flowing. We also have next the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, which is one of the most precious offerings that we have. We just had the opportunity, you had probably been able to offer it during Krishna Janmashtami. Now with Ganesha Chaturthi Brahmotsavam being celebrated today, we have another opportunity to offer the Pratyaksha Pada Puja to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on Ganesha Chaturthi. So you can offer this as well with the upcoming Ganesha Chaturthi offerings on this very auspicious day. And you'll be literally blessed with the sweetest path to enlightenment, the guru-disciple relationship, the guru-disciple tattva. The next offering we have is the Vastra Seva. The Vastra again is offered to the Guru, and you can be blessed with a complete protection in your life, and offer the Vastra as our humble offering to the one who is literally Digambara, meaning clothed by the sky itself. And the next offering, as you can see, we have all the different offerings here, and you can see that there's different various levels of the offering. So if you feel that you cannot make a certain level, or you cannot go past a certain amount, or you're budgeted for a certain amount, then you can offer something of a lesser level, or if you feel that you can, then you can go for more. And here we have the link for the payment of the offering. And you can go to this link, and we'll be just going over the steps next on how exactly it will, it's how easy it is to make an offering right away. So as you can see in the next slide here, this is exactly how the payment gateway looks. And as you can see, it says the Parashakti Bhava Samadhi Darshan donations. And here is the landing page. So once you go to the link provided, you will be going here. Make sure it looks like this. It looks like anything as well, or navigable. And you can go ahead and search Parashakti Bhava Samadhi Darshan and go to even the main offerings page and search for that as well. So then you can select in the drop-down menu the different offerings that you'd like to make, perhaps whatever it is, and whatever you want to make out of your gratitude, you can select, and then you can proceed to the checkout and proceed to review your card, and make sure that you can always place in your card things that you'd like to make in the future, for example, for your birthday or for the marriage anniversary, as we Hindus do for every different sacred festival, for every different auspicious occasion. We always make an offering of our gratitude at the feet of Devi Parashakti first, and then only we do anything else. And then make sure that you proceed to check out with the offerings that you'd like to make today, and you can fill out your billing details and your payment details. And as you can see the the payment options that you have, the different types of cards that are accepted. And next, we have the option of making a donation through the YouTube super chat. So I invite every one of the viewers, if you are joined with us in any of the social media platforms, please do join us on YouTube, where Swamiji has literally have been joining as members now as well. And you can join as a member of our Kailasa's SPH YouTube channel, and it's one of the ways that you can have citizenship or e-citizenship and have the benefits of e-citizenship as well. And as you can see, there's different levels of how you can be an e-Kailashian once you join this channel, and you can go ahead and hit join and make a payment for the membership. And the membership is open to everyone who just wants to connect with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, wants to follow Hinduism and be enriched by what all Hinduism has to offer. As you can see here, the membership also has several different options for payment, including Google Pay, if that's what you're using nowadays, and also PayPal if you don't have a credit card or PayPal or any other option. So you can make sure that you make avail of these options. And finally, once again, we have this link again for you if you'd like to go ahead and make a payment. After payment, you can go ahead and ensure that you are filling out the Sankalpa 2021 form. This is a mandatory form that you have to fill out and ensure that you are making the form in order to have your names chanted during the puja. So this is the way that your names are chanted during the puja, and your payment order is connected directly with the yes. So now we will we're coming to a conclusion of this segment in today's program, and you can take a few minutes to make the offerings right now. And we'll be joined shortly by the Adi Kailasa Sarvagripeetam administrators, who will be sharing with each and every one of us the various contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in India through the Kailasa COVID care centers. And over the last couple of months, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened up the Kailasa COVID care centers in Adi Kailasa Sarvagripeetam, as well as 13 other locations in India, in order to protect Hindus and protect anyone who needs, no matter of their caste, their caste, their religion, or their background, who needs to serve and protect their life in this extremely dire time, especially in India, where there's so much of risk of being affected by being infected by the coronavirus, as well as the other infectious diseases that are literally plaguing the streets in India, and wherein the whole health system, the whole health institution has entirely collapsed, and even where no medical supplies were even available. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened up the temple ministry complexes, the Kailasas, have in order to ensure that people have a place to have the benefit of multi-layer quarantine, where strict protocol is followed and the place is highly protective of the people there and the outside world where interaction is happening, and different layers are put in place in order to ensure that there are no and in order to ensure that there is no fault or no gaps in the protection of the people and the lives who are residing there. And as well, even free Ayurvedic supplements are provided in order to boost the immunity of everyone and protect them further from the coronavirus and from other infections. And as well, in order to keep everyone and ensure that everyone's fatigue or boredom, and especially during the time of the lockdown, is reduced, and in order to keep that up, inspired, and also use this time for spiritual transformation, the whole campus is made available in order to make sure that the huge amount of spiritual benefit is also experienced. So in so many different ways, the Adi Kailasa Sarvagripeetam has been offering to many hundreds of people protection from all kinds of negativity, whether it is the disease to the physical body, or even the depression, anxiety, or even suicide ideation in our minds. And for consciousness itself, you get to live in a spiritual kshetra. Not only this COVID policy, this framework, has actually been recognized by the UN as a way for addressing the COVID-19 using Hindu multilateralism. And in this next segment, we will also be understanding how the United Nations, one of the most powerful international peacekeeping organizations, as many of you know, has recognized the COVID policy framework and the COVID policy executed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in Kailasas, and has actually saved so many people's lives and ensured that it's not only here, but all over the world, in Kailasas across the world. Whether it comes to the multi-layer quarantine, or even the very diet of the people, or it comes to the immunity, or boosting the immunity with Ayurvedic supplements, and as well with nourishing, with sustainable farming and organic produce, with the best kind of diet, nourishing our bodies and keeping our bodies healthy, and even the spiritual benefits, the spiritual rituals, including the Maheshwara Puja that is offered so often now by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in order to liberate the very souls who have passed on, even tragically, during this Pralaya time. So Swamiji, as the incarnation of Paramashiva, has been doing so much, literally, in order to help and in order to ensure that the people are protected And of course, by manifesting as Devi Parashakti herself, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is simply guiding, taking care entirely, and nourishing each and every one of us as her beloved children. So now we'll be entering into the next segment of today's program, and I invite each and every one of you to stay tuned with us until then, after a very short break.
ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்க செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளியே, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்க செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளியே, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்க செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம்.
Nithyanandam, and welcome to today's segment of the Adi Kailasa ship, the multi-layer quarantine COVID care protection centers are the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa. The world today, as it exists, as the news reports would say, not say, about 4 in 10 parents say their child fell behind academically due to the pandemic. About 3 in 10 say their child experienced mental health or behavioral problems. Percentage of the parents who say that as a result of the pandemic, at least one of their children, number 1, fell behind academically is at 39%, fell behind in their social and emotional development, 36% parents, experienced mental health or behavioral problems, 29% of parents. Now, this is what was found in a survey asked of parents or guardians of children ages 5 to 17. The prevalence of depression and anxiety remains high among younger adults in just the country of France, as this graph indicates over 1 year, how depression and anxiety in the general population have been varying in the country of France for all adults. And here we have something more stark and more in the face statistics, where it clearly shows that younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder during this COVID-19 pandemic. That's obviously a matter of concern, because if, as we can see here, the youth in the age group of 18 to 24, literally the future of this planet, 56% of them report symptoms, medical symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder. The second age group from 25 to 49 at almost 50%. The so-called more mature group from the ages 50 to 64 at 39%. And the elderly at 29%. This pandemic has not left anybody unaffected in one way or the other. And it's not small numbers of the population. We're talking about 50% of the age group below 50, over and above 50% of them being impacted by nothing less than anxiety and or depressive disorders. The average share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety disorder and or depressive disorder, if one compares between the pre-corona period in January of 2019 versus January of 2021, as per the Household Pulse survey, is very, very revealing. 11% of the population 2 years back felt depression or anxiety, and now we are at 41% of adults experiencing symptoms of either anxiety disorder and or depressive disorder. And a survey which was conducted across corporate offices, asking employees, the workforce, what they feel more than half the time at work. And as you can see in this graph provided by MetLife, 34% say they feel tired more than half the time. 34% say they feel stressed out more than half the time. 27% say they feel burnt out. 22% feel discouraged. 19% distracted, and 17% said they feel depressed more than half the time at work. And here we have from the American Psychological Association officially declaring that stress in America in 2020 is a national mental health crisis, with COVID-19 being a significant stressor for most Americans. Because, as we can see in this study and the survey, nearly 8 in 10, 78% say the coronavirus pandemic is a significant source of stress in their life. Nearly 7 in 10, 67% say they have experienced increased stress over the course of the pandemic. And it doesn't stop there. It is not just the general population, specifically the mental health disorders affecting essential workers, literally the frontline defense for all of us in the face of this pandemic. The health workers, essential workers, 1 in 4, 25% have been diagnosed with mental health disorders since the start of the pandemic. And further, the Journal of Medical Regulation says more than 60,000 US healthcare workers have contracted COVID-19. 300 have died. This is in addition to the mental health statistics that we were just going over. As we can see, COVID-19 could exacerbate doctors' existing mental health burden. Just to compare, an estimated 300 to 400 physicians die by suicide every year. And of the health workers who treated patients during this COVID-19 outbreak, 50% showed signs of depression, 45% showed signs of anxiety, according to preliminary research. The mental health during this COVID-19 pandemic in the United States, during late June, 40% of US adults reported struggling with mental health or substance use. 31% had anxiety or depression symptoms. 26% trauma or stressor-related disorder. 13% started or increased substance use. 11% seriously considered suicide. And this is based on a survey of US adults. The numbers, as we can see, 40% of the adults expressing their struggle, pushing them to substance abuse, suicide, and not just restricted to feelings of mental disorders like anxiety or depression. The pandemic has not left the mental health of pregnant women and new mothers either unaffected. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, according to the medical statistics, 15% of pregnant mothers felt depression, 29% used to experience anxiety. During this COVID-19 pandemic, which is still ongoing and manifesting through various variants of the virus, we have 40.7% of pregnant women and new mothers feeling depressed and 72% expressing feelings of anxiety. Needless to say, this very much will affect the just born or the yet to be born, because their health is directly related to the health of their mothers. One can see in the education front about these students, demographics by degree sought say 20% of college students say their mental health has significantly worsened under COVID-19. The impact of COVID-19, 48% of college students have experienced financial setback due to COVID-19. Among all students, 38% said having trouble focusing on studies and or work was most stressful. 74% of students are challenged in maintaining a routine due to COVID-19. So one can see the impact across all the dimensions of their lives, because they're feeling worried, anxious about their future. They're having trouble focusing on studies. They're also experiencing financial setbacks because of the way the pandemic has pushed society into lockdowns and complete stoppages of regular business. Living under stay-at-home orders, as we know, left with no alternative or thinking that this lockdown would be able to control the spread of the pandemic, various governments, countries have enforced and still continuing to enforce lockdowns. With this, 8 in 10 students are struggling with focus on school or work and avoiding distractions. Students are interacting most with parents during the COVID-19 physical distancing. And number one, parents can support students is simply spending time with them rank much higher than talking about the COVID-19 news. These are all the various guidances given by healthcare professionals. The resource needs, of course, for these include, number one, for college student mental wellness, virtual face-to-face time. And number one, for the homeschooling students is digital social gatherings. 55% of all students do not know where to go for help for their mental health. Now that is where the problem starts. Because as we can see here, increasing levels of mental health issues, and that too in women compared to men, is a lot more. 35% of females have moderate to severe levels of depression compared to 19% of males. 27% of females have moderate to severe levels of stress compared to 10 males. 37% of women aged 18 to 24 report suicidal thoughts compared to 17% of men. During lockdown, women are significantly more likely than men to have felt 40% of women feeling nervous compared to 30% of men. 30% of women feel everything was an effort compared to 22% of men. 28% of women feeling more lonely due to the pandemic compared to 16% of men. And a whopping 2,800% increase in demand to women's health clinic at just one hospital, Alfred Hospital, in just a period of 1 month. Here, further research on mental health of Indian women, specifically during the coronavirus pandemic lockdown. According to age group, it indicated 25 years, 8% not impacted at all, which is almost close to nil. 50% say somewhat impacted, and strongly impacted at 42%. Close to half the women population feels strongly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic in the age group 18 to 25. which is the youth age group. 26 to 32, the next age group, 11% feel not impacted, 54% somewhat impacted, and 35% say strongly impacted. Needless to say, this is just on an absolute basis. It is including personal life, home, work life, everything. And understanding the pandemic's impact on working women, the numbers are showing practically the entire women population affected, as nearly 82% of women surveyed said their lives have been negatively disrupted by the pandemic. Nearly 70% of women who have experienced these disruptions are concerned their career growth may be limited as a result. Nearly 70% of women who said they have experienced adverse changes to their daily routines during the pandemic believe these shifts have prevented or will prevent them from progressing. And as it relates to the on-demand work environment, nearly a third, 29% of women who feel they always need to be available are concerned that if they are not able to fulfill this need, their career progression may be impeded. So one can see the struggle in which the working women are caught in, with almost everyone feeling their lives having been negatively impacted, and 70% saying they are very sure that it will affect their career growth. And further on, being pushed to a situation where women are feeling that they need to be available all the time because of the job insecurity that they have been put into, and the risk of the risk factors, the fear of insecurity of the future. 70% saying that they have, because of this COVID-19, their whole routines have been disrupted. And obviously they have families to deal with, they have other responsibilities, and on top of that is a need to be available, expectation to be available all the time. Of the respondents who experienced shifts in their daily routine, 65% now have more responsibility for household chores. 1/3 said their workloads have increased due to the pandemic. 58% of those with children reported added childcare responsibilities, obviously because of the lockdowns, the children being constrained to the homes and the women folk having to take care of their kids. 53% of those with children reported homeschooling or education responsibilities. So it is not just about having the child at home, but also the education to be given as homeschooling. 46% reported feeling a need to always be available from a work perspective. So one can see here the need to be available in the family as to take care of the children and take care of their education, their homeschooling, and coupled with that, on top of that is the feeling that they need to be available from a work perspective because of the lockdowns, not able to go to office and therefore being at home. And once when a person is at home, naturally the expectation is to be available when expected. So it's not constrained to the office working hours. So online at off hours, responding to emails immediately. And of those 46%, 45% naturally feeling and 48% said their physical well-being has suffered as an impact of feeling they always need to be available. So it's not just restricted to a mental health problem. It has grown into a physical problem and the physical well-being being affected and the whole family thereby being impacted because of the women in the family. And another important segment, the elders, the older persons, COVID-19 impact on them in terms of various aspects of their life, economic well-being. The pandemic may significantly lower older persons' incomes and living standards. Already less than 20% of older persons of retirement age receiving a pension. In terms of life and deaths, fatality rates are 5 times higher than global average. An estimated 66% of people aged 70 and over have at least one underlying health condition. This is, of course, barring this pandemic, this virus of corona, already having one underlying health problem at their age. Mental health, physical distancing can take a heavy toll, obviously, on our mental health. Living alone and being modest, the risks are higher for older persons. Vulnerability, essential care that older persons often rely on, is under pressure. Almost half of COVID-19 deaths in Europe occur in long-term care settings. Older women often provide care for older relatives, increasing their risk to infection. So on the one hand, the facilities, the medical care facilities, not able to keep up with the burgeoning COVID-19 cases in numbers, and the need for medical care more for the elderly people also unabated, adding to the stress on the medical services systems. Responders. Older persons are not just victims, they are also responding. They are health workers, carers, and among many essential service providers. Abuse and neglect. In 2017, 1 in 6 older persons were subjected to abuse. With lockdowns and reduced care, violence against older persons is on the rise. And here we can see the distribution by age and sex of the confirmed COVID-19 cases, as one can see across this whole age groups, both males and females, right up to the age of 80 plus, every single segment impacted, more so the age group in the midlife age group. Having seen the situation the world is under today, before we go into what Kailasa, the revival of the ancient Hindu civilizational nation, and the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, have provided in a very foolproof way the prevention, protection strategies and implementation across the COVID care protection centers in all the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa across India. Here we can take a couple of minutes, if you have not already registered in the past, to register now through the link for availing of the COVID Care Protection Center and applying for the same, https://kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. Let's take a couple of minutes to register ourselves at this link. And now moving to the next part of this segment, we're going to go into an important aspect about holistic care provided at the COVID care protection centers and what is necessary for the holistic health of people. How art therapy helps kids through trauma. Art opens up a non-verbal form of communication for children having a tough time expressing their thoughts and feelings. Often it can also point towards the source of trauma, say therapists. Recently, the central government released guidelines for parents' participation in home-based learning amid the pandemic and emphasized the role of art as a therapy for children under stress or trauma. In fact, there have been reports about various music groups creating soulful music so that people are able to have mental health. And special educators explain how engaging young children in art can help them become emotionally stronger. Amid a pandemic, when increased screen time and a messed up routine are making parents anxious, special educators stress on the importance of engaging children in art. Fluidity of colors helps emotions to flow along, says a Mumbai-based special educator. And all this, the mental health is recognized by our ancestors, ancestors in Hinduism, where divinity in Hindu art was a very central portion of art. Hinduism has a long and rich history of depicting the divine